Welcome back to the WakeMan channel. Alright, so it's that time of year again. I usually need a few pieces of new gear each year. Usually I'll need to upgrade a few things each year. I usually use most things for at least 2 seasons. So there's a few things that I felt like I needed this year. So that's what this video is going to cover. I'm just going to share with you the items that I purchased. And I purchased these items during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. I typically will wait to buy certain items during that time because usually I can get a little bit better deal like anything else. So yeah, without going too much more into it, I'm going to go ahead and unbox these items for you as well. So let's go ahead and get into those clips. All right, as you can see, I've received a package here. I usually try to take advantage of some Black Friday / Cyber Monday deals when I need some new gear. This, you can probably tell by the size of the box. And maybe even by the symbol there, that this is a pair of new wakeboard boots. And if you know me well enough, or if you've seen my channel enough, you might even be able to guess which ones these are. But I did do a little bit different this year. I usually buy a new board every other year as far as wakeboards go. And I usually buy a new pair of boots every other year. And usually those are on opposite years. So this year it's time for boots. Last year I bought a new board. And most commonly what I do is I'll buy the previous year's model or maybe even this year's model because they just came out with, for example, it's 2021, but they just came out with the 2022 series. So usually you can get a better deal on the previous year model if there's still some of it around. So that's typically what I would do. And that is what I did with this. But I did pick a slightly different boot than I've gone with for the last several choices. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this for you so you can see what I got. Like they just taped up the boot box, which probably perfectly fine. I don't think boots typically see a whole lot of damage in shipping. Okay, so we got it packaged right here. Looks like it's mounting hardware and then just a packing slip. And then here we are. So, these are the Ronix 1 boots, but there was a couple different versions this year, and the most expensive and I guess highest tech one was the Carbitex, and this is not the Carbitex. So the Carbitex actually has carbon fiber where you see this kind of black right here. So it was another, I think, $100 more than this pair. And I did pay, I think, $354 or $355 for these with a bit of a discount. I think they're mostly the same as what I've been getting, other than the fact that it's just not the highest tech one. Usually there's only one option for the one boot, where there's been a couple options for a couple years now. And I went with the lower version because I didn't feel like it was necessary to have the carbon fiber. I like the way this one looks. I did like the Carbitex version just because of the colors, like where this white is on here. It was the blue that's on my board. Same with this right here. But this actually matches with my board too, because I do have the 2021 Ronix 1 Time Bomb board. So the colors, whether it was the blue or the white, it matches. And this is a very subtle amount of white, which would have been subtle for the blue as well. These tabs for loosening the drawstrings are white as well. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about these. I can show a clip of what I had before I bought these, or what I was using before I bought these. It's basically just like the gray, older version of the one boot. I think I've done the one boot now 1, 2, 3, 4 times. No, I've done it 5 times. This is the 5th set of one boots I've bought. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna like these. I just wanted to show you the unboxing, so I will mount these so you can see them mounted. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of give you a look around here. interesting. They looks like they started doing a new kind of toe cap. This is like rubber right here, and this is more of a, I don't know, a vinylish, leatherish material. So a little difference there. You can see how it matches with the board. You get this little bit of white here, a little bit of white there. I think these boots were from 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna go ahead and unmount my. In case you're curious, I put mine on 12. So they go between, I think, a little less than 0 to 24 as far as degree goes. I always do 12. That's kind of a preference. I feel like each foot should be ducked out a little bit. I'm actually going to clean this board too, real quick. This screwdriver is the screwdriver I'm using on boat, but today I will tighten these up or take a first set. Every time you check my bolts. Alright. There's old versus new. So the only obvious wear you can really see, I think, is the rub marks from the strings, and then this piece right here started coming out. You see that spot right there is really worn. There's a hole in that. For the most part, these ones held up pretty good. I've had much worse. I've actually busted the boots off of this base before, so I'd say it's not bad. I'm gonna actually take these bolts, mounting hardware, and save them. I always have backup stuff. That's all I need to do. Okay. Now we'll just these things here. Here we go. Ronix has done this for a long time. They put these in the top of the boot. These can actually be used as like a coffee sleeve. It actually shows the different things you can check for coffee on the side. You're supposed to cut the top off of this and you could use it as a sleeve. I've never done that, but it's kind of a funny, neat feature. There you go. I have a bag full of miscellaneous parts like this in case you lose some or you break some, whatever it may be. Last year when I mounted these boots to this board, because this board was brand new for 2021 season, I accidentally had, I think it was my front boot, it was one notch too far forward. I can actually see a little bit of the outline of where the base plate was sitting, and I didn't notice it, didn't realize it until I took my first ride. So I actually had to hop back on the boat, and that's when it's the coldest time of the year. I think the water was in the like 50s or something like that. I had to hop back in the boat and change it up and go back out. But that's kind of funny. All right, so I have them mounted now. I think they look really sharp. I actually prefer the look to these gray ones. I think when I bought these, it was kind of the best deal I could find. Oh, there's another spot that was coming apart on these here. These were still working just fine, but I think when I bought these, I actually was looking at a few different ones, and these just were the best price. So I was never really in love with the color of these, but no big deal. I'm really liking the color on these. But again, I was actually looking at the Carbon ones that have that bluish color on it, but and comparing against these, they were $100 more, but I think it was well worth it to save $100 for me, because I like the look of these just straight up mostly black with a few hints of white on them. So one of the other things I'll mention here, these are heat moldable insoles, and I always do the heat molding, but I do it at home. I do it kind of DIY style. I mean, normally you take the insole out of this and you put it in a specific insole heater and then take it out, put it on your feet, stand in it for a little while. I do it myself because I want to do it while it's on the board, while it's in the boot shell and while it's on the board, and at my stance and everything, because I feel like that's where you're going to get your best results. So all I do is I take my wife's hair dryer and I blow it in here for a while and then put my foot in it. I've already done a video on that, so I won't take you through doing that on these. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'll put a link right above me up here. But yeah, that's how I take care of my heat molding. One thing that sucks about getting brand new boots is the fact that they're pretty stiff. They're not going to be flexible for a little bit. I'm not sure if I can. I mean, that's probably a pretty good indication. You can see I'm flexing that. So, you know, that's not how this is going to work for a while. It's going to be pretty stiff. Usually it's going to take 3 or 4 times out, maybe more, before I'm able to poke grabs the way I want to, the way I'm comfortable doing it. So that's one thing that sucks about new boots. But as you can see, I have to get new boots every so often because I'm busting out of them here and there. I think it was that one that I was busting out the side. But I do keep the old boots. I keep the old boots as backups because, like I said, I have blown out of a pair of boots before entirely to where they weren't usable anymore. So I always have backups that I can toss on in place of those. I also like having extra boots for other people that come out riding because when they're heat moldable, you know, I don't like anybody else to get into my boots that I'm using at the time. So, you know, boots like this are great for people that come out and want to ride. I'll let them ride these boots, and I've actually got several sets now. So, all right, so here is another package I got, or another item of gear I bought for next season. Like a little return form here. All right, so if you can't tell by now, it's a new wetsuit. All right. So some of you who watch my channel a lot might already know that I've been using Visla, I'm not sure how you say that, wetsuits for a few years now. I think this will be the 5th season and this will be the 3rd Visla wetsuit. I actually really wanted to try a different brand this time, but the thing is their wetsuits are pretty decent quality and they're a pretty dang good price. Just to give you an example, I was looking at Billabong. I almost got a Billabong wetsuit, and it was a little bit more expensive for the Billabong wetsuit, I think by like, I don't know, $50 or something like that. And by the way, I got a good deal on this one. It cost me $195. I think the Billabong wetsuit was gonna be about $250. But the Billabong wetsuit didn't have any of this lining. This is just a sample. So I'll put this inside out so you can see what I'm talking about. Then I was looking at a Hurley wetsuit that I liked, but it was gonna be $300. So that's why I keep on going to Visla, is just because the price is so good. And I go through a wetsuit every couple seasons. They start wearing out, the seams start busting, and start leaking more and more, letting more water in. So that's why I get a new one every couple of years. So when I'm buying them that often, you know, the better price just seems to beat out. I think the only thing that I've kind of thought maybe I would like better about a different wetsuit, a different wetsuit brand, would be maybe weight. You know, these do feel like they're a little heavy and maybe a little bit thick compared to like a premium wetsuit. But you get what you pay for. You know, you got to pay for that stuff, and honestly, it's probably fairly minimal. And I've done pretty well with these ones. So yeah, very minimal design. I'll have to maybe grab my old one and maybe do a comparison. In case you want some helpful information on wetsuits, I did do a video with my brother-in-law about 2 years ago. He's in the Coast Guard and they use wetsuits a lot. And so he had a lot of helpful information. So I'll put a link to that video right above me right now. But yeah, I'm gonna put this thing inside out so you can check it out. This is a chest zip. I've been a big fan of chest zips since I started using them. Just really good for keeping water out as opposed to a back zip. So this is a different style of liner than what I'm used to. So you can see, I'm not going to undo the whole thing here, but you can see that on, I think the front, on the front, it's your core and then it goes down your legs a little bit. And then on the back, it's just your core. But yeah, I'll have to grab my other wetsuit and maybe do a little comparison for you. But it feels nice and new. The neoprene feels really good. All right, let's try this thing on. All right, here it is. Here's the fit. Don't mind my extra holiday weight. Yeah, it fits nice. I can tell it's really warm because I want to get out of it right now. Pretty hot in here. All right, so here's some comparisons. This is my new one, and this is my first Vissla wetsuit. And then here's my most recent one. So this one was black. This is called like a heather charcoal or heather gray. Pretty much looks black when I'm in the water and whatnot, but you can see up close it's kind of got like a heatherish pattern to it. This is the interior lining material on the new one. And this is the interior lining on my last one. Which, if you were looking at them, well, actually, I'll grab this little swatch here. If you're looking at them up close, you might wonder, you know, is this one better? But yeah, I don't know, hard to tell. But that's my old one. One thing you'll notice on wetsuits, and this is probably from not cleaning it enough, I don't know, but you start to get this kind of weird stuff going on, and it looks kind of like it's like mold growing or something. But I think it's just the rubber starting to break down. That's something I noticed, and I have some of that on my last suit too. That one, here's all 3 years, the liner inside, so they've been changing it up each year. What's kind of funny is, you know, if you didn't know any better, you might think that the newest one is the oldest based on the interior liner, because it's pretty basic, whereas these ones have like a pattern on them. Those are all my different wetsuits, all my different Vissla wetsuits. All right, so you can see that I bought a new pair of boots and a new wetsuit for the 2021 season. Everything else, I usually buy a new handle almost every year because I usually wear those out, but my handle from the 2021 season was still in pretty good condition, so I'm gonna just see how that goes, and there's a possibility I might buy a new one in the middle of the season, but hopefully that lasts all next season. I also typically would need a new vest by now, but the vest that I bought last time, which is just a Liquid Force Z cardigan, has been holding up pretty well. In fact, the one I bought prior to that is still in pretty good shape as well. So I didn't feel like I needed a new one of those. But my boots and my wetsuit, I would say those two items are the items that I wear out the quickest. Aside from the handle, I usually go through, like I said, I usually go through a handle every year. Usually the the cushion will kind of wear out and the material over it will start getting a hole in it here and there from hitting the board. Just kind of things like that will start wearing on the handle. But again, my handle did pretty good. But after handle, it's definitely boots and wetsuit. And like I said, usually with the wetsuit, either some seams will start coming undone, or you just start feeling more leak points. And that's just because of how they glue those seams. If you want your wetsuit to last extra long, then you can get the ones that are taped and glued on both sides. I usually only get the ones that are taped and glued on the inside. And with boots, I'm just wakeboarding so much that I go through them. I showed you a few of the spots on my boots where they were wearing out. I would probably see if I get them to last a long time, but I had one set of boots that I blew out. I talked about that, and that sucks when that happens during the middle of the season and you're forced to buy a new pair in the middle of the season. So that's why I'm proactive about certain things like boots and wetsuit. I do have backups that are older versions, but yeah, I don't want to feel like I need to buy a new pair of boots during the middle of the season, because obviously that's when they're going to be priced a little bit higher. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts on this video or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and click that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.